All right, welcome runners. We're getting ready for our second annual Backyard and DoubleDown running weekend with WausaUltra. I'm Ellen, this is Scott, and this is Jen. We just wanted to go over kind of the athlete guide and then just give you a little more detail that might help you out during race weekend.
We are going to talk through race week. So starting on Monday, April 25th, this video will be coming out for you all to watch. Get all the information you need about the race here. It will be released on Facebook, Instagram, sent to all racers in your inbox. Take a watch through, see if there's any questions that you had that get answered here. Then Wednesday at 6 p.m. at night, if we didn't answer everything in this video, jump onto Facebook Live. We're going to have the whole crew, race directors on live answering your questions. Any you might have left before race day, feel free to drop them in the comments below, because I'm sure if you have the question, somebody else probably does too, and we will answer in those comments. If there's a question that comes up that we think is really pertinent that all racers should get, we'll be sure to email that out as well in case somebody's not on social media or able to join the live. They'll be able to see it. That brings us to race day then for the Backyarders, Friday, April 29th. Starting at 6 a.m., you can show up at Sylvan and start to set up your 10x10 area right over there in the field. Do not show up prior to 6 a.m. Don't show up Thursday night. The park doesn't open until 6 a.m. to racers, so show up then and start to set up your spot. Bring along your crew, bring along your family, anybody that's going to help you haul your stuff from the parking lot up there over through the field. You have from 6 till 9:30 to set up, do packet pickup up in the chalet, and get ready to start racing. 9:45 is going to be the first call that we're going to ask all backyarders come to the start corral and start to get ready for loop 1. Scott over there is going to give you the call every single loop for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and the 1 minute warning to make sure you're there ready to go every hour on the hour. And at 10 a.m., loop 1 starts. Friday at 10 p.m. at night starts our quiet hours in the park. So we just ask, your crew in the 10x10 and you guys take it down a notch. If anything's loud, just keep the noise level down. We've alerted the neighborhood that our event's going on that week, so they're aware of it. But just out of respect for them in the area, we're just going to have those quiet hours. Then we bring it back to Saturday where we can turn it up again. 6 a.m., the park opens again to the general public. And DoubleDown racers, this is for you. From 6 to 9 a.m., you can start to show up and do your check-in and packet pickup. Also for the kids' loop race, they can start to show up at that time as well. 9:30 a.m. DoubleDown, our loop 1 starts for you guys. So you're going to want to show up in that start corral, be ready to go for loop 1. You have the hour and 15 minutes to complete that loop 1. Loop 2 will start out at 10:45. So either you're on your second loop or your relay team, your second runner is going out. Noon, our DoubleDown race will finish up. And at 12:05, we will have our kids going out on their loop of the course. 12:20, once both of those races are done, we'll have the tallies done for the awards, and the DoubleDown awards will happen. Sunday, who's going to still be out there? We'll be here till you're here.
So a couple of general announcements before we get into the race specifics. First is the location, where we're at today. Beautiful Sylvan Hill Park. Make sure you're checking out our website, WausaUltra.com, for the parking and setup map that's out there. You probably should know this already, and if you don't, you really should rethink some life decisions because you should know where we're at. But if you don't, it's on the website. COVID. We're so thankful that we're in a different position this year than we were last year. Not only for this race, but just for the general well-being and health of everybody. And so from a COVID perspective, we're not requiring masks this year. But you know what? Do what makes you feel comfortable. If you want to wear it inside, go ahead and do that. We'll be disinfecting the chalet, aid stations throughout the event, and so we're going to try to keep this as healthy and safe as possible for everybody. That being said, if you do come down with symptoms, you have a cough, you have a fever, you have new loss of taste or smell, you have any sort of leakage or discharge from anywhere, just stay home. We really appreciate you, but the health and safety of you and everybody else is very important. So just stay home if that happens. All right, jumping into backyard specific race information. And so I'm going to give some details first, and then I'm just going to run through a lot of the race rules. So first, again, should know this, but if you don't, the backyard race is made up of a 4.167 mile loop that runs through Sylvan Park, and it will leave on the hour every hour until there's only one person remaining. That starts, like Jen said, on 4/29 at 10 a.m., and it ends whenever the last person is out there. We have this set up as either a self or a team-supported event. Jen also mentioned that there's going to be roped off or marked off areas, 10 by 10 rough areas that we're going to have marked off for your station, and that's where you can set up your tent. Any sort of aid that you need can be there. That's where your crew can be hanging out throughout the event as well. If you do bring some sort of tent or easy up or something like that, bring poles, bring something that's going to secure that bad boy to the ground. It got a little windy last year and we lost like 4 of our changing tents, I think day before even. So make sure you have that. We want you to be safe. We want all the other runners to be safe as well. The chalet is gigantic. There's an upstairs and a downstairs. That's going to be open throughout the event. There's going to be some limited space to do things like charge if you've got cell phones or batteries of whatever kind you have, to be able to charge those things. A couple things that aren't allowed. You can't have a fire, so don't bring a fire pit. Just don't do that. You also can't have a generator. It'd be badass if you did, but you can't bring it, so don't do that. What you can bring though are small cooktop stoves. You can bring those easy up tents, battery powered lights, stuff like that. Okay, then I'm gonna run through the race rules. I'm gonna literally read them to you all until I have a funny quip that I want to put in, and then I will do that. So, first, do not set up your support area prior to 6 a.m. on April 29th, 2022. As Jen said, if you do, there will be harsh consequences. As a race participant, you must be in the starting corral at the bell. This one's super important. I posted this on Facebook the other day, and Lazarus Lake, the author and designer of this race, had some really good reminders for all backyard racers. And really, there's very few rules in this race. But the one rule that we will stick to absolutely is that you've got to be in the corral when the bell goes off. You can't receive aid once the bell goes off, or actually in our case, when we say go. You have to complete that yard before you get aid again. It's super important. It's one of the only few rules that we have, and we will stick to that absolutely. Each loop must be completed within that hour in order to be counted. There are no trekking poles allowed. Keep those at home. You may not leave the course until each loop is completed, with the exception of going to the bathroom. If you gotta dump, go into the woods. You have to do the whole loop. Don't cut, don't cheat. We're gonna trust you. Don't do it. Don't be that person. This one's funny. I laughed. Follow traffic rules. It's on a trail, but there might be emergency vehicles that are out there for whatever reason at some point in time. Yield to them. Just be aware of the potential for that. You as the racer, you are responsible for your crew. So if we find that the crew is being disruptive, they're not following race rules, they're disrespecting the grounds that we're at here, they're disrespecting neighbors that we have, we're in a residential area, that is grounds for disqualification and removal from the race. We don't want to do that, so just make sure that your crew is behaving. No crew or non-competitors are permitted on the course besides the runner. Again, very important. This is technically an open course because we're in a park system, okay? But if you're here crewing or you're here providing aid, don't go out onto the course. It's against the backyard rules. So even though this is an open course because it's a park, don't do that if you're a part of the crew. No littering, shouldn't have to say it, but we do. No smoking or use of any drugs at aid stations, okay? No aid can be given to you or dispersed along the course. Super important again. Don't have somebody sitting up at the top of the hill trying to give you something. Now, I can't say that a race director might not be up there tempting you with a beer or something, but no crew can be doing that. Your bib, make sure that that's visible and on the front of your body at all times. If you're changing clothes, which likely you will be this year, we're going to have challenging temperatures, I think, and so you're probably going to be changing out clothes. When you do that, make sure that the bib is transferring over. If we have severe weather, doubtful given the outlook right now, but if we do, we'll stop the race, we'll pause it until that severe weather passes, and then we'll start the next yard at the top of the hour, whatever's closest to the next top of the hour is when we'll start that. If you're dropping out, again, we're pretty simple here. You keep going until you don't. And then when you don't, just let one of the race directors know. We're going to have our DNF bell again, and so we want you to take that opportunity to ring that thing and to celebrate the time that you had out here. So that's specifics for the backyard. Ellen, I'm going to pass it over to you now for the DoubleDown.
All right, so I'm just going to explain some of the rules for the DoubleDown. Some of it's going to overlap with what Scott already had to say, but I think it's important to go over. And also, I'm kind of an idiot sometimes, and I don't want to miss stuff, so that's what I'm going to do. So for the DoubleDown, this is on Saturday, April 30th. We're talking about Saturday morning. It's going to be 2 loops of that 4.167 mile loop. And you can either do this as a solo person, or we're going to have some relay teams made up of 2 people as well. And so how it works, for the relay, your first teammate is going to show up on the starting line for a 9:30 a.m. start. So we're going to be kind of in between when the backyarders are going. They've already started, but it's a little bit before those quick-ass people are coming in. So 9:30, hop on that starting line. First teammate's going to take off. They're going to do their loop. And then at 10:45, the second loop's going to start. So we will record the time of your teammate as they come in. 10:45, we're already going to be getting that second teammate lined up. When your runner comes in, you're going to want to take your bib, because you're only getting 1 bib per team. So you guys are going to transfer the bib, and then 10:45, that second person takes off. Same thing, or at least pretty similar for the solo runner. 9:30 on the starting line with everyone else for the DoubleDown. Go off, do your loop, and then 10:45 is your second loop. How the scoring works is kind of fun, semi-confusing at times, but if you read through it, I think you'll all get it. So that first loop and the second loop, how we score it is that you want the lowest points possible, and that's a good thing. That's how you win. So if you get first place, you get 1 point. If you get second place, you get 2 points, and you get points each loop. If there is a tie, let's say there's someone who gets first place that first loop and they get second place the second loop, but then there's someone else, they got second that first loop and first the second loop. We go by the second loop, whoever won that one. So you want to make sure that you're fast coming in that second loop if you're really looking to score those points. Same thing for the relay, so you'll be able to kind of see our math going into that. If you have any questions about the scoring, definitely feel free to let us know. But again, if you just read through it, plus just have fun out there. It's a really pretty course, and have a good 2 laps. We will be having awards that afternoon. Jen went over the schedule. I think it's, 12:20 we're doing those race awards. We have some really cool awards that were made, so be aware for that. Race rules, like I said, some of these are going to be repetitive, but some of them are definitely individual to the DoubleDown. So if you are doing it as a team or a duo, like I said, you're going to be getting 1 race bib. Just make sure that you bring something. Some people like to do those belts. Some people are fine with the pins. It does need to be on the front of your bean as well as your teammates' bean, because we need to see it as you come in, but you will be transferring it. You as a race participant, you have to be in the starting corral, similar to the backyard. You need to be in the starting corral when we say go. We can't have people coming in 10, 15 minutes late. As you know, we're kind of doing this on a timed period, and so you need to be there at the official start. Similar to the backyard, no trekking poles are allowed. No leaving the course until your loop is complete, unless you need to step off the trail, go to the bathroom, do whatever, but no like running out and getting coffee and then like jumping back on the course or something. Do the whole loop. It's beautiful. I think that's the reason we're all out here, is to enjoy the course. So don't cut, don't cheat. We really are, we trust you guys, and I think everyone wants to trust their competition. So make sure you do the whole loop. Follow traffic rules. So in addition to emergency vehicles, that actually does apply to like other hikers and people out walking their dogs, that kind of thing. Don't run anyone over. Like we said, this is a public park. We want to be respectful that they're letting us use this space. So just be mindful and respectful. Similar, you're responsible for your crew. If anyone comes, make sure that they're not trashing the course or jumping on the course, anything like that, that they're just helping you and supporting you appropriately. I'm going to skip over no littering, you know that. Severe weather, very similar to what Scott said for the backyard. If there's severe weather, we'll call it, we'll get everyone inside where it's safe, and then we would just start at the half hour for the DoubleDown and get you guys going. I think that covers it for the DoubleDown. Again, let us know if you guys have questions about those rules. A little bit just on the Sylvan Summit. I know a lot of you have kids, or you have friends that have kids, family that have kids. The Sylvan Summit will be on Saturday. The race will start at 12:05, so anytime that morning we'll have packet pickup, and all it is a sign-in for your kid, emergency contact, and then we'll actually be doing this event with a great organization called Girls on the Run, and so you'll be able to see what they're all about. They're going to be the ones making the course. It's going to be less than a quarter mile long, or at least less than half a mile. I think it's going to be short enough that it's fun. But kids 1 through 11 are welcome to come sign in. Again, it starts at 12:05, so I'd say any time up till like 11:45. Be sure to sign your kid in. We'll just have some fun activities to do, and it is free for kids. Donations are welcome, but again, this is available to anyone, so be sure to spread the word.
One of the biggest things we hear when people come out here to train their first time out on the course is they're like, I can't figure out this course. Where is it? You're not going to have to worry about that race day. It's going to be clearly marked. Flags, signs, show up in that start line, follow the flags. You'll be good to go.
And then by like loop 9, you'll like really have it down.
Yeah, backyarders, you'll really know the loop and be able to lead people for the future. What to bring and what we're going to have here race weekend. So WausaUltra will provide 2 indoor bathrooms inside the chalet. We will also have 4 porta potties outside set up shortly after the start line, and a hand washing station. We're going to have 4 changing tents outside that if you're not comfortable changing in your own crew area or just need an extra spot to quick switch something up, you can hop into those and change. Otherwise, like Scott said before, the chalet is huge, plenty of space to go in there, a couple charging spots, but again, don't rely on that because, other people are going to be looking for those too. But plenty inside space too if you need a moment to warm up or grab water or grab a bathroom in there. We will have, kind of similar to last year, we're going to have pizza ovens, microwaves, coffee, the whole aid station spread, waters, soda, gnarly, hot chocolate. I'm sure that'll be good at some point if it's cold. The whole list of food, pizza quesadillas, pickles, chips, sweets. We pretty much got a cover of it, but if there's something specific you like or your racer likes, make sure you have that along yourselves. We will also have some basic first aid stuff in the shelter if you need that at any point during the race. Recommended gear. It's gonna be different weather on the weekend. It might warm up, it might snow, it might rain, it might sleet. Bring a range of clothing and bring multiples of things. Last year we had a lot of people trying to dry socks throughout loops, which is doable, but it's easier to just bring a bunch and then swap them out. So bring a multitude warm, cold weather running gear. Possibly extra shoes. If you're a backyarder and are going to be out there for a long stretch, it's nice to have some dry shoes to switch into. Hats, visors, mittens, gloves, hand warmers, all the things. If you're one that likes to have a running vest with you for hydration, carrying your aid on the loop with you as you fill up after every loop, or double downers if you like to carry your water that way, make sure you bring that along. Backyarders, if you're planning going into the night hours, be sure to bring headlamps with extra batteries charged to get you through to that next morning. Again, with the food, nutrition, and hydration, we're going to have a spread of stuff in the chalet, but if there is something specific that works for you, make sure you have that along in your cooler, in your stash of things, and your crew knows what to give you when. If you like certain chafing cream, bring that along because you might need it after some damp conditions. We will have little sample tubes of it in the chalet, but we know that's a very personal thing too as to what brand and what type you like. Be sure to bring for electronics extra batteries. There will be a few charging stations, but that will be shared between everybody, so make sure you have it covered for your headlamps and any of your gear like that. As far as music and headphones go, we do allow it on the course, but if you're out there, just be cautious and conscious of those around you. Maybe run with just one earbud in. And as Scott had mentioned before, if you're here for the backyard, you can bring that 10 by 10 tent and any amenities that you want inside of that, depending on how long you're planning on going. Chairs, cots, sleeping bags, all of that. Check out some of our pictures from last year. We have some great pictures out there of people's different setup. Feel free to use the Googles, see what's a great backyard or ultra setup.
All right, so we're going to go through some timing and results specific information now. Just like last year, we're going to have the timing clock outside of the tent. For every loop that you do, you're going to see that count down or count up on that clock. We're going to staff that at all times, and we'll be recording the number of loops that you're doing, as well as for the double downers, the times of those loops as you're coming in. We've got an awesome WausaUltra Backyard app that Rob has created, so you can download that from the Google App Store to follow along, or on WausaUltra.com. The results are going to be there as well. What we really need from you as the racers to guarantee an accurate record of your loop number and times is that you got to cross the finish line before you head into the aid station. I know it can be tempting, because as you come through the corral and come through the final chute, you actually have to go underneath the arch before you can go back into the aid station. We had to remind people that a number of times last year. So again, in order to make sure it's accurate, fair, and just for everybody, you got to get through the entire arch. And that goes for both Backyard and DoubleDown. And then you got to tell us if you're dropping. Okay, so again, just like last year, find a race director. We'll bring you to the DNF bell, and we'll celebrate with you. Okay, crew and spectator information. So talking to those people who are coming to support those athletes now. And this list was made up. Ellen put this list together, but everybody sitting here, Rob behind the camera, we've all crewed people before, and so these are really, really good reminders for you as crew people to make sure that your athlete is having the best possible time, and so that you have a great time too. Crewing is a super rewarding adventure to take on, and so heed this advice. Okay, so first, make sure that the 10x10 space that's set up is efficient for your athlete. Talk to them ahead of time. Know what kind of setup they're going to want to have. Know where they're going to want things inside of their aid station. Make sure that it is as organized as possible for them. It's going to be easier for you and easier for them as they're coming in. Know your athlete's goals. Make sure that you're talking with them ahead of time, having the conversations about what it is that they want to get out of this event, because it's going to be different for everybody. So find out, do they want to set a personal best? Do they want to hit a certain number of yards completed? They just want to have a good time, just enjoy Sylvan. All those things are important to know so that you as the crew can tailor their needs to that specific goal for that day to make sure that it's a successful one. Every athlete is going to have different needs when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to motivation, when it comes to hydration. Make sure that you're talking with them about that ahead of time too. If they know as an athlete around the 50K mark, that's when their stomach turns and the only thing that they can have are saltine crackers, then be ready for that. Make sure that you're prepared for that, but do it ahead of time. Race day is not the time to find out that your athlete can't tolerate tailwind or can't tolerate ho-hos. Like, I don't know, like you gotta talk with them ahead of time, so that you know. Especially for backyard, as the yards ramp up and things like sleep deprivation become a real thing, your athlete is going to rely on you to be their brains. So you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself as well. So you need to continue to eat and hydrate and rest. You need to make sure that you are in a good position for them so that when they come in, you can take care of them. Ellen put this in here, and I love it. I actually used this analogy the other day at work, and it wasn't because of this, but it's just a good one, right? So when you fly in on an airplane, and the flight attendant is always like, loss of pressure in the cabin, a yellow mask will fall down from the ceiling. Make sure that you put your mask on before you help others. Same thing applies from a crew perspective. So you got to make sure you're taking care of yourself. I know it sounds like, well, I'm here for them. You are, but if you're a pile when they come in, they're not helping them, okay? Make sure that ahead of time you've talked with your athlete too about what is their safe word, what's the safe sentence yeah, that if they utter, it's time to pull the plug. As a crew, your responsibility is to continue to push them. There's going to be, especially backyarders, there's going to be points of time where your athlete's like, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done and I don't want to do this anymore is not the safe word. Okay, maybe it is. But you get my point. You have to have that conversation with them because their job is to push you the athlete, and so you as crew and athlete, make sure that you have that established ahead of time. Okay, crew rules. Some crew rules. We talked about this a little bit, but we'll do it again. Crew and non-race participants, you're not permitted to provide aid after a yard begins and until it ends. So while they're out on the course, don't provide them with aid. It's cheating. It's not a part of this, so don't do that. We also ask that 15 minutes prior to the top of the hour, that all crew and spectators are staying out of the aid stations and porta potty areas, the chalet, to make sure that any racers are getting what they need prior to the start of that next loop. Respect the land that we're on. Again, we said it before, but as crew, you're responsible for this area, not just the 10 by 10 that you're in, but everywhere that you are enjoying while you're here at Sylvan. And we want you to do all of that because we want this to be an amazing weekend. We want you to have fun. We want you, crew and athlete, to come and have a memorable experience that that you want to talk about, that you want to tell people about. WausaUltra's vision is to elevate the race experience for everybody. And that's what we want to do. And so we bring you all these things today. One, so you're educated, so that you understand and know the rules of the road, and you can enjoy the weekend. But really, it's that. We want you to come and enjoy the weekend. Be a part of something special, because this is really special. And I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see everybody on race weekend.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for our pre-race meeting. If you have any other questions, first of all, you can always email us, text us if you have our numbers, but I encourage email. Otherwise, we're going to be having a live Q&A this Wednesday, April 27th. We'd be really excited if you guys grabbed a beer, whatever your beverage of choice is, and asked us some fun questions. So we really look forward to seeing you.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye now.
Boy, this is a stinker of a meeting, isn't it?